Disappointing game, kind of weird football game. Neither defense could get a stop. Fun football game, though. I'll say that. Fun game. Mahomes was great. Jared Goff made some throws. Andy Reid can't win these types of games. And I thought Mahomes played really well, though. He had that bad interception. The end of the game, they didn't really run the football like I wanted them to. It was a really fun game. It lived up to the hype. There isn't a lot of defense anymore in the NFL. Yeah, Ronaldo, it was a fun stream on Insomnia Sports, that's for sure. But I wanted to come and give my reactions. I don't think I don't know if there will ever be defense anymore in the NFL. There might be more ball control, but if you're like an NFL coach, the Rams have so much talent on their defense, and they still suck at defense. They paid Marcus Peters all this money, and I know he gets an interception, but their defensive line has Sue Donald and Dante Fowler, and they still suck. It's unbelievable to me. And the Chiefs, I know the Chiefs don't have great defense, but Kansas City's doing a hell of a job this year. And I love the decision by Andy Reid to let Alex Smith walk. It was the best decision that franchise has ever made, because Alex Smith is complete trash. He would have gotten beaten by 40 in that game. But it was awesome. I think Kansas City has a chance to make the Super Bowl. I think Sean McVay is one of the best coaches we've ever seen. His enthusiasm on the sideline. I loved how Sean McVay didn't run the ball when he got the football back because he wanted to go for the kill shot. He didn't want to give the ball back to Mahomes. He had that completion if Jared Goff would have thrown it over that linebacker's head. And, Travis Kelce still made plays. He dropped one ball in the game. When your defense is that terrible, you have no control over that game. It was a roller coaster ride, and there was no structure at all to that game. It was crazy. It was chaos. It was a ton of fun watching this football game. The NFL is like the Big 12 now. It was a college game. There was no stuffing the run. There was no real running of the ball at all between those two teams, and nobody really took control of the clock or rested their defense. And Sean McVay got really pass happy during that game. And it'll just be like last year's Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Patriots. You saw the refs wink at Jared Goff. It was a great night for the NFL. I think that so many people had a great time watching that game. It was a complete shootout. It was sad that one team had to lose. I love Mahomes and I love the Chiefs, and I picked the Rams to win the game big, but I was stunned how much time Mahomes had to throw. I was stunned by how well the Kansas City offense was against the LA Rams defense. They lit it up. I wasn't surprised at all that Jared Goff was able to light up Kansas City. Their defense hasn't been that good. I wasn't surprised. I was very surprised how Mahomes had all day to throw the ball. And really the secondary of the Rams, Wade Phillips tonight got absolutely waxed. And it was embarrassing. I'm sure Wade Phillips is a guy that's coached a long time. How are they going to beat New Orleans if they can't play any defense? I like the football game, but it was it was a little corny, like how many points were scored, but it was a hell of a football game. So I don't know if I loved it or not. I definitely didn't hate the game. It was a little Bush League. Like the NFL's getting a little Bush League with no defense. But at the same time, it was tons of fun fantasy-wise. It was fireworks. It was great for the young generation of kids that everybody got to score a touchdown. And I don't know what to say about the game. I guess you're supposed to play teams 55-51 and win. It's hard to say it's hard to even break down the game because there was just so many busts in the coverage. And, you could say these two offensive coaches are great, but these guys are running wide open. And Tyreek Hill is my favorite receiver in the NFL. If I had to draft a wide receiver, it would be between DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, and Julio Jones. And if you have Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill can't go up and make plays like Julio and like DeAndre Hopkins can, or like Antonio Brown, but he's right there. He's right there in that top 5 for sure. You look at Odell, you look at these other guys, but I'm taking Tyreek Hill. And Sammy Watkins didn't even play. And all these people out there that are insulting Sean McVay for not running the ball are completely clueless because the Rams should have won that football game late in that scenario. The Rams, I loved how they threw the ball 3 times to end the game. And, Aaron Donald's a good player, but he's the only guy playing any defense out of the 2 teams in that game. And then the Rams make things worse because they don't salt the clock at all. They're quick snapping the whole game, and they wanted it to be a college game. So for everybody out there, it's like these teams are playing hurry-up offense. Andy Reid's going to throw the ball 80 times. So these coaches don't play time of possession. That's why the Bears-Vikings game was so different because they didn't play time of possession at all. And it was just a very evenly matched fight. It was a great game. You got to have a good quarterback nowadays to really be, efficient. It's hard to get by with like your middle of the road quarterbacks. It's going to be hard for Trubisky to beat, Goff and Drew Brees. It's going to be tough. You got to have a great offensive head coach, I think, to win. And, that game was just that game was on steroids. It was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. It was bizarre. All the defensive touchdowns, the Gerald Everett running down the field. You can't be a big linebacker anymore. You can't be a lot. I disagree, Marcus. I loved how McVay called the entire game, honestly, except for not running the ball in the second half. But I loved the decisions to throw. I would have done that exact same thing if I was Sean McVay. Did the Chiefs beat themselves? Kelsey dropped a couple passes, yes, but man, it's tough. You're going up against one of the best play callers of all time. You're going up against a quarterback that's a Hall of Fame quarterback in Jared Goff, probably. You're going up against Robert Woods and Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley's a Hall of Fame running back. Todd Gurley's one of the best 15 running backs to ever play. And Jared Goff's looking like one of the top 35 quarterbacks to ever play. And the Chiefs defense, they had a lot of turnover in the offseason to make room to sign Sammy Watkins, which I totally agreed with, by the way. I don't know. I think the Rams are a little bit better. When you have Aaron Donald, that's what gets you over the top. When you have Peters and Donald, that's what your defense just has a little more sizzle to it. I think Mahomes is better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff on those deep balls wasn't even he at times would miss deep balls. And Mahomes is, I think, a top 10 quarterback to ever play football. He is, to me, like what Rodgers is like. Mahomes, to me, reminds me of Brett Favre when he plays. It's hard to find a more talented quarterback. I think he's one of the most talented guys I've ever watched in my life. You could say Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers is number 1 on the list in terms of talent. But, who can throw the ball further? Who can throw with more touch? Who can roll outside the pocket? Who's competitive? My favorite play from Mahomes in this game, and you could pick all 500 of his yards, and I'm sure people will get mad at him for fumbling. I'm sure people will get mad at him with 15 seconds left throwing up a Hail Mary. I'm sure people will get mad and nitpick that he put up 51 points. I'm sure that's the type of society. We have to point somebody and we have to point out their flaws if they're a 9.9 out of 10, right? But my favorite thing about what Mahomes did that Alex Smith would not have done is on 4th and 2, he told Andy Reid that we're staying on the gosh damn field. He told him we're staying on the freaking field and we're going for this play. And that was my favorite thing that Mahomes did all night because he has the heart of a champion. He's celebrating when his defense makes a play. And Mahomes is just a tiger. He is just incredible. I think the Chiefs, they have a chance to make the championship. They have a chance to win a Super Bowl this year. That's how amazing of a player he is. And I hope Mahomes in his career can win one Super Bowl just like Brett Favre, just like Aaron Rodgers. I hope he wins one. I really hope he wins 2 Super Bowls. I hope he wins 2 MVPs. And I hope, and I knock on wood, that the kid stays healthy. That was the greatest decision in recent NFL history, was trading from 27 down to 10 to get this kid and letting go of Alex Smith and then giving a big FU to all those NFL nerds that said Alex Smith had his best statistical year. Alex Smith would have gotten absolutely pummeled in this game. So, oh, damn, what a game. Wow, what a weird game. What a fun game. I guess I'm supposed to love that game. I did like it. It was probably my favorite game of the year. It was offensive fireworks. It was corny as hell. It was like you were playing a video game. It had no structure. It was really corny, really fake almost. Like it felt like WWE. It felt like Big 12, but at the same time, I couldn't turn away from it. So I don't know if I'd call it the greatest game ever. It was a fun football game. It was I don't know. It's a game I'll remember. Yeah, Tom, I was wrong. The Rams defense was so terrible. You're completely right. I get everything wrong. I'm going to stop betting on football, or I'm not going to stop betting on football. It's the most fun way to try to make money. But I said the Cardinals would beat the Oakland Raiders, and I don't know, like if you should ever bet on a defense being good in the NFL again. I mean, I looked at this game and I thought to myself that this Chiefs offensive line would get slaughtered in the football game. And I was completely wrong. The Rams defense was absolutely waxed, and there's no defense anymore in this league. And I don't know if it's ever going to come back. Matt, no way is this game on Mahomes. You put up 51 points. Your defense, gets – McVay totally schools the defense. I mean, how are you blaming it on Mahomes? You could blame it on Kelsey. No one's to blame but probably Bob Sutton, but Andy Reid. I mean, maybe Andy Reid could have ran the ball a little bit. But the Rams have better personnel. They're a really good team. They're playing at home. The Rams are the better football team. And you can't blame this on one person. You got to blame it on the Kansas City defense. But the Rams are the best team in the NFL, and the Chiefs are going to be 13-3. So you shouldn't be hard on either team. These are both 13-win teams. These are both the best in the sport. It's sad that someone had to lose that game. Both teams came out and played brilliant football. So I have more respect for Kansas City after watching that game. And I have just as much respect for LA after watching that game. Maybe LA's defense I have less respect for, but I'm not disappointed in Kansas City at all. They shocked me with how well they played that game. I mean, they were down 30-20. Mahomes kept getting up off the mat, and I'm not blaming it at all on Kansas City. I have a ton of respect for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, these games are going to be tight in the playoffs, what John says. Because you're going to have Tom Brady going up against Mahomes, and the Patriots are going to play ball control, So the Patriots are going to go to Kansas City, and they're going to try to take the air out of the ball. And you can beat the Chiefs 28-25. You just have to take your time a little bit. You have to run the football on the Chiefs defense. So you look at what the Steelers can do. The Steelers, everybody's so evenly matched in the AFC. Like, these games are all going to come down to last-second touchdowns, last second between the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Chiefs. I mean, I don't know why people are counting out New England. I mean, Tom Brady's the clutchest quarterback ever. He's the best quarterback ever by a large, large margin. I still think that New England can win the Super Bowl this year. Everybody's counting out the Patriots, but Tom Brady going against the Steelers or the Chiefs, Tom Brady and Belichick against Reid in the playoffs, I'm not sure that the Patriots are not winning the Super Bowl this year. And now those two teams I don't think are winning. I don't think that the Chargers are getting anywhere close to the Chiefs. You can't put Phillip Rivers in the same category as Patrick Mahomes right now. Phillip Rivers is limited athletically, limited throwing the ball. The Chargers couldn't even beat Alex Smith last year. The Chiefs are so much better this year. The Chargers they lost to the Broncos, and then the Texans have Bill O'Brien. The Texans are a benefit of a soft schedule. They have no chance at all in the AFC, zero. The Kansas City Chiefs are right there, the Patriots and the Steelers. I don't want to hear about any of the Chargers or the Houston Texans. Those guys are the appetizers, okay? They're coming out and they're going to bed at 9 o'clock. They can't even hang in there. And, they're like the freshmen that go to college. That's what the Chargers and the Texans are like. They're the freshmen at college that literally cannot even have like any whiskey or any Jack Daniels, and they pass out at like 8:30 when Brady and Mahomes are getting ready to double dip with Big Ben. I mean, those guys are zero chance. Kansas, I'll give Indianapolis a chance. They have a quarterback and they have a coach. So I like the Colts better in that scenario. Give me the Colts on the road. That's fun. Andrew Luck's a proven winner. Don't give me Phillip Rivers, though. That's a great suggestion, Ben. I forgot about Indianapolis. Yeah, the Chargers are like the Trailblazers. They're purgatory. It's amazing, Tom. I mean, you're so right as a Kansas City fan. I mean, it's amazing to me how good Tyreek Hill is. I mean, he's just the most electrifying athlete I might have ever seen in my life. You talk about Barry Sanders and Saquon Barkley, but you have two guys that are the freakiest players on earth. You have Tyreek Hill, and then you look at Travis Kelce. I think Travis Kelce is a top 10 tight end to ever play the game. I mean, Tony Gonzalez, right? Antonio Gates. But look at the tight end position and tell me that Travis Kelce, if he doesn't stay healthy, is not a top 5. He might be a top 5 player at that position ever. So you have Tyreek Hill, who's by far a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer right now. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's better than Chris Carter. I'd say he's better than Andre Reid. I would say he's better than a lot of receivers that are going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, his route running is so pure. And then you have Mahomes that I would argue might be a top 3 quarterback that we've ever seen play in terms of his talent ability. I mean, if he's just ridiculous. I mean, he's the most ridiculously talented quarterback other than Aaron Rodgers that's in the league right now. So it's insane. The Chiefs are insane. And it's such a fun team. It's one of the great offenses that we've ever seen. I've said before the year that that's the case. And then you look at Sean McVay at 32 years old, and he is, I mean, it's incredible how many amazing people are in that football game. I mean, gosh, how can you stop Sean McVay? And I'm sure that Mike Kafka's getting a job. I'm sure that Eric Bellamy's getting a job. I'm sure that, Shane Waldron and Zach Taylor, the entire coaching staffs are going to be cleaned out at the end of the year because the NFL teams want to find the Frank Reichs. They want to find the DeFilippos. They want to, first of all, they want the Rams and the Chiefs to be a lot worse, but these coaching staffs are going to be decimated at the end of the year because these coaches are pretty damn modern. And I could tell you Mike Kafka's getting a job. I mean, I could tell you the Jets are in really good shape. I mean, there's so many coaches right now that can't hang with these two teams. I mean, the NFL, we talk about parity, but the top teams are getting so much better. It's incredible. How about Marcus Peters talking shit to Mahomes at the bottom of the pile? I mean, how about that guy falling on Mahomes? Then Marcus Peters talks shit to Mahomes. Then the referee goes out there. And then you know what the ref does? He winks to Jared Goff when Andy Reid's getting in the ref's face. I mean, how weird was that officiating tonight? Yeah, the Colts offensive line is just so much fun and hell of a game. I wish I could have been on a live stream for that game. That's a game you want to be on a live stream for, you know? Unfortunately, it's like there's so much happiness watching that game. It's like, how do you get back to regular life? You know, you're watching that game and you're thinking, you know, it's not going to get any better than this. I mean, geez, it was a dream come true, a absolute dream come true watching that game because, I believed in Mahomes. It was so funny because I shit on Jared Goff so much. And he's out there, and I have the most hated quarterback that I've ever watched is Jared Goff. I've hated on Goff more than Prescott, more than anybody on this channel. And then I have Mahomes, the guy that I was the first guy to support Patrick Mahomes. I was the first guy. I watched that Broncos-Chiefs game last year, and I saw the throws over linebackers, and I knew that Mahomes was going to be amazing. And everybody was saying Mahomes throws too many interceptions. Remember in training camp, all you guys are saying Mahomes throws too many picks. And everybody had the Kansas City Chiefs going 8-8. Everybody says that the fact that they lost, that guy Derek Johnson, the fact that they lost Marcus Peters, no one had them going 13-3 but me. And I can assure you on that one. And I'll own that one. But I'll also own the fact that I said that Jared Goff would not be a starter in 4 years, that he sucks, that he has no arm talent at all, and that he's just an okay quarterback, that it's just going to be like a decent player in the NFL, like a Matt Schaub. I said he would be Matt Schaub. And for that one, the Rams fans will always be able to hold me accountable for that. I love Marcus Mariota. I do. I love the kid. It was a bad performance yesterday by him, and he doesn't have that upside, right? He doesn't have the biggest arm, but can he work out? Yes, he can. He needs a little bit more support. And I don't know about Vrabel and the Titans, but unfortunately, the division's too tight. I like John Robinson a lot. The Titans are done, though. Yesterday was the death nail. The loss to Buffalo killed them. The Ravens loss. It's a very competitive league this year, actually. And Marcus Mariota is good enough to win a Super Bowl. He's like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins and Mariota are good enough to win championships. It's just we're in a very competitive NFL right now where you somehow need a running game. You somehow need to control the clock and keep the other offense off the field. And you need, like the Bears are the only defense right now in the NFL. It's a very weird game. It's almost like the NBA, the NFL. Not really, no. Do I have a life? I don't really know. Probably not. I just sit here and just babble. That's all I do. No. MK, you're right. You were expecting me to get mad and prideful? No, you can't attack a pridefulness guy. I still love Jimmy, though. I love Jimmy and Kyle. This is the golden age of offense, man. Will we see defenses rise again? What defenses are we going to see? Because it's up-tempo. The players are going to get smaller and faster. The physicality, the refs are just going to protect players more. Are we to the point of no return? Are we to the point of no return in the NFL with defenses? And you guys are doing amazing. I actually have a little bit of an issue. I am going to go for 1 second, get something. I want to stay here for about 10 more minutes. and I want to talk more about this football game and the depth of NFL defenses, because it's very discouraging that Mahomes can do what he did tonight and not win a game. It's almost a crime that you can throw for 500 yards and lose. I can't wrap my brain around it. I cannot. I think I might take the Rams. Rams or the Saints. I'll go Rams. But Kansas City has a lot of work to do with Andy Reid. I just don't know if I trust Reid versus Tomlin or Bill Belichick. I just don't. So hold on one second. Hold on one second. All right, guys, sorry about that. Thank you so much for hanging in, for staying on your computers and not leaving. What I wanted to say is, you know what? The coaches didn't run the ball. It would have been less of a high-scoring game if these coaches, just didn't, if they ran it, I didn't like the run-pass ratio from Sean, though, tonight. I mean, Todd didn't get going at all. They could have controlled the game, the Rams, and Sean needs to be accountable for that, because what did Todd only have 10 touches tonight? You can't do that, and also on the other side, you have Mahomes dropping back too much versus the pass rush. Again, Andy Reid tonight is also to blame. The coaching was not perfect. Even though these are excellent coaches, they made some bad decisions in terms of not running the ball. Especially, I was shocked at how Sean McVay did not run the ball. And I'm not talking about the 2-minute scenario, because I love that from Sean McVay. I love passing with 2 minutes left and going for first downs. I hate just punting the ball back. I hate that. I hate when you run the ball 3 times and you punt the ball back. Who cares that they have no timeouts? Timeouts mean jack shit. I hate that. So I'm glad that they went for the win. You know what? My only problem with McVay at the end was don't throw a screen, throw it 10 yards. I don't care if the ball is even, whatever. Try to get a pass interference. I love the play calling at the end of the game. That's great. That's something that the public has wrong, and that Sean McVay has absolutely right. Now, but the run pass ratio tonight was awful. Honestly, the wink was a little bit weird between Jared. Okay. There was a terrible call in the game. On the Jared Goff touchdown, that right tackle was so far removed from the play. And then Marcus Peters. How about the taunting that wasn't called in the end zone, where Marcus Peters is talking shit to to Mahomes? He's laying on top of him for 7 seconds, and Tyreek Hill puts up this, and it's a 15-yard penalty. But Marcus Peters is shouting into the face. He's spitting on Mahomes' head, and that doesn't get called. How about that false start on that right tackle on that touchdown by Jared Goff? He's way off of the football. That false start drives me nuts. That was such a false start. So, I mean, those were terrible, terrible, terrible calls. How about that fumble that where Mahomes' arm was going forward and they call it a fumble? What? So many. There was not that good calls. I couldn't be on insomnia. I'm getting punished, man. I'm getting punished by by my parents and by other people. I'm grounded. I'm grounded. I don't know how much I can do YouTube anymore. So, I mean, those guys are doing unbelievable on Insomnia Sports. I mean, that's a hell of a network, a hell of a time. I've loved getting to meet you guys. I hope I can do Insomnia as much as I can. It is fun. I'll tell you, tonight's game was really fun. I mean, it's great that you have Cop Pizzle, and it's great that you have Entertainer, you know, and then me and JC are similar ages, and those guys have seen so many movies that I've never seen in my life. Doug, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. That means a hell of a lot to me. I'm glad you enjoyed the content. I really am. You know, that's really why I like to do the content. It's good if you can, you know, help somebody out or make their day a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a night. I don't even know if I could do any film reviews, man, but oh my gosh, I think defense is dead. The 80s and the 90s are dead. Thanks. I think we got to hang out. That's the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to do this for 2 more minutes, but you guys, we need to have a hangout somewhere. We need to go out, have drinks, and have fun. Fat Matt, Doug Lass, so many people on here. Ronaldo Allen, just crazy Jet fans. Really tight with the Jets fans, but I'm also tight with Ben Allen. I'm tight with the Niners fans. The Rams fans I'm not too tight with, but they have an amazing team. Yeah, Kansas City fans, let me say this, okay? I apologize to the Chiefs. I don't know what I was thinking. I said the Rams would kill the Chiefs. I said their offensive line was terrible, but this Rams defense was bad, and you guys owned the Rams defense today. I mean, never doubt Mahomes ever. You could put out one of the best defenses ever, and this guy's still going to put up points on you. It's amazing that the Denver Broncos-Chiefs game was so much different than this game, right? Because the way that you conquer great offense is you hold the ball, and that's what the Bears did last night. So I'm going to say this, actually, and this is something I can elaborate on. The way that you conquer great offense is you hold the ball and you rest your defense and you take down the play clock to about 5 seconds and you make it a physical slugfest of a game. And that's what the Rams did not do. You kept feeding the beast, you know? It's like with the Golden State Warriors, like the Houston Rockets last year, and it was very annoying as a guy who wanted Houston Rockets to lose. The Houston Rockets with Golden State, they played isolation where James Harden would dribble the ball for a million years, and then he would get fouled with a second left on the shot clock, and then you don't give the offense any rhythm. But if you guys watch that Bears-Vikings game, the Chicago Bears held the ball the entire first half. So Kirk Cousins had nothing. He had no rhythm. He was held off of the field. And that's how games in the NFL are low scoring, because this game you had Sean McVay just like almost daring Andy Reid. It was like Sean McVay saw Conor McGregor in a bar and he's like, hey, Conor, I'm going to try to punch you in the freaking face, and I'm going to outduel you right here. And Sean McVay played right into the Chiefs' hands. He threw Wade Phillips under the bus by not running the ball with Todd Gurley. I want to see the final stats because Sean McVay got so lost in this game that he went away from his roots and he lost his composure by not giving the ball to Todd Gurley. And the thing that makes Todd Gurley great is that he's an amazing teammate, and he can also help out in pass protection. That's what makes Todd Gurley great. As you ask Jared Goff, you ask anybody, it's Todd Gurley protecting. He's one of the best blocking running backs in the NFL. But I'll take some of your questions. Yeah, exactly. But Tony, I mean, they had the Warriors because it was almost like, you know, they played cheap, you know, by not playing any basketball. But let me tell you how much Jared Goff threw it. He threw the ball 49 times, and they only ran the football 12 times. So you literally have, I mean, you have like a like a 55-14 ratio for Sean McVay. For the Kansas City Chiefs, it is 46-14. But Andy Reid is like that. He's not great at that. And that's something, if I were Andy Reid, I would fix, is he doesn't ever run the ball. With McNabb in Philly, you saw it. And Andy Reid's on the sideline. He's not jubilant like Sean. He needs to be more emotional. Just a little bit, Andy. Just give me a tiny bit of emotion. He's getting a little bit better. At least Mahomes can be that emotional guy that the Chiefs need, because if you have a quarterback like McNabb, right, who is very unemotional, that's the thing about McNabb, is he was very apathetic at times on the surface. And you have him with Andy Reid, who's apathetic, you're never going to win. But when you have a guy like Mahomes that can spark Andy Reid, that's when you can potentially have something that is really, really good, because Andy Reid needs that kick in the ass from his players. He does. Hey, Sean was doing it for you, Tom. He was doing it for you. Alexander, man, what is up? You're my guy, Alex. Thank you so much. Andy's opening up, all right. Mahomes is getting to Andy Reid. It's all the psychology. Great question. Most competitive MVP race ever. If the Chiefs win home field, Mahomes wins the MVP. If the Saints lose to the Cowboys on Thursday night, so Mahomes, it's very close. It's Mahomes or Drew Brees. Right now, it's Drew Brees that's winning, because Mahomes has lost to Brady and he's lost to Jared Goff. And the Saints beat the Rams. So right now, it's Drew Brees. And Drew Brees is older, and the voters are going to say that Mahomes will get it in future years if he stays healthy, right? It's exactly like the LeBron James Harden thing, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're going to give it to Mahomes in like 3 years, but Drew Brees is an all-timer and he should win another MVP, right? If I was voting, I'd give it to Drew, honestly, because of the team's record, but it's so close. What do you guys think? Drew Brees or Patty Mac? Sad. I don't know how that freaking happens. I mean, we had the same thing in Canton a couple years ago with the paint getting on the field, but and it's a terrible situation with the wildfires. I can't even imagine. But I go Drew. I go Drew. It's so close. Mahomes is second right now. I hope that Mahomes wins. Yeah, Patty Mac has more TDs. Patty Mac is crazy. I mean, I wanted to see him throw for 7 touchdowns. I was loving every minute of it. I had him in fantasy. I had Tyreek Hill in fantasy. The people that lost in fantasy on Mahomes interceptions, unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Whew. What a crowd. What a great audience tonight for this. And everybody who did a live stream got spiked up tonight. Luck is too far back, but that's a hell of a point. The Colts I always forget about those damn pesky Indianapolis Colts. I forget about those guys. Frank Reich is a Coach of the Year candidate. I'm going Matt Nagy for Coach of the Year. You got to go with the guys that inherit, right? Because you had John Fox, and to me, Fox and Fisher are similar. So you got to go Matt Nagy, right? You know what I mean? You got to go Matt Nagy. Yeah, I mean, Tom, I watched Tua, and Tua Tagovailoa, people say he's like Steve Young, but to me, Tua is like Drew Brees because he has that short release, which I love. Like Jimmy Garoppolo has Brees in him because Jimmy, he doesn't go back all the way either. He has that short release, man. So those quarterbacks that can't throw it that far, they have those short releases that I love, And you look at Jared Goff has this long, loopy release that looks so ugly, but it somehow does it. It somehow gets there. But the reason that Romo's able to be good is that guys like Jimmy G, guys like Mahomes, but Drew Brees with that shoulder surgery, his release is so quick. It's like watching Chase Utley swing a baseball bat. It's a hell of a point because Kansas City, what were they like? Or what were the Chiefs like? 1-3. They lost to the Jets, actually. They lost to a lot of football teams. They lost to the Eagles. But I'm going Matt Nagy, man. I mean, what he's done with Mitchell Trubisky is phenomenal. I mean, you could go right because the defense in Chicago is better, right? But I'm going Matt Nagy, how he's got everything together. They're going to win that division. I actually think Houston's winning that division. I don't think so, Haroon. I wouldn't count the Patriots out at all. Everybody's sleeping on those freaking New England Patriots. Great point. Great point. And Doug, you have more expansive knowledge of football and probably of movies and everything. I saw you on that live stream tonight. I got to go back and watch some of those old movies. But Drew Bledsoe, that's a really interesting one. To me, Goff, I'm not going to say he's not Steve McNair. He kind of throws a little bit like I'm trying to think of who he is. A quarterback that put up numbers. Goff will make it to 1 Super Bowl. I'd be shocked if he wins 2 championships. Goff's a little bit like Donovan McNabb. I think Goff is McNabb. McNabb's bigger. I'm trying. Who is a Jared Goff comparison kind of from the past that I've watched, growing up, watching football. Gus Frerotte is kind of like Jared Goff. But Palmer has a deep ball that I've always loved, Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer had that deep ball, but they're both Cali guys. I know what you're saying. But I actually think Carson Palmer is a great, great talent. Kurt Warner, Doug Williams. Boy, I got to go back and watch more tape. I'll tell you, Tom. Great, great question. Great point, too. I love chatting with you guys because I struggle to come up with stuff to talk about in every aspect of my life, whether it's small talk or here, but you guys come up with points and you make me think about stuff. Aaron Rodgers, to me, the problem with Patrick Mahomes is, and this is a problem that I've had to encounter with Jared Goff myself, and I'm sorry, I'm going to look at the chat. Jared Goff, I don't like the argument because it's hypocritical that Jared Goff, people cherry pick the playing in the system argument so much. Okay? The people that hate Mahomes will say he's played in the system. The people that hate Tom Brady will say he's played in the system. And if you put any quarterback in the Patriots system, they will win. Those are people that don't respect Tom Brady because then you never allow the player to ever exceed your expectations of the head coach. It's unfair. The system argument, I'm going to end it completely because I could right now cherry pick the shit out of the Sean McVay, Jared Goff thing. But to Jared Goff, that is the most unfair thing I could ever do to Jared Goff. So I look at Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers is a great talent, but Mahomes is a better leader than Aaron Rodgers will ever be. Okay? You look at Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, those are teammates that didn't like Aaron Rodgers. And I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers that he is a celebrity and that his personal business is out there. Okay? I feel bad, and I'm not going to go there. Okay? I'm not going to go there. Okay? But you guys can fill in the blanks about Aaron Rodgers and the people around Aaron Rodgers. But Mahomes is so much more of a leader than Aaron's ever going to be at this league. And I would take Mahomes over Aaron Rodgers any day. I'd even take Favre over Aaron because Aaron is a weird personality, and people are not willing to sacrifice everything for Aaron Rodgers, where Patrick Mahomes it has more leadership in his foot than Aaron Rodgers does. I love Jimmy too. Jimmy has that clutch factor. Like, I'm still taking Jimmy over Jared in the long run. I'm sticking on that. I mean, not many people would. I'll put Jimmy Garoppolo in the very good. To me, or I'll put Goff with Matt Ryan, in that Ryan Cam Newton echelon. He's not at the Jared Goff echelon. or he's not at the Mahomes. He has to win championships. I mean, his talent, unfortunately, is just not the same ability as Mahomes. But to me, Jimmy Garoppolo, I hold very high because Jimmy's never really lost at the NFL level, and he has a quicker release than Jared Goff. He's one of the clutchest quarterbacks that we've ever seen in our lives. Like I love the fact that everybody's hopping off Jimmy G so we can all claim him here on Rover Sports. We can claim Garoppolo. We can claim Mariota. We can claim guys because the public will always shift our perceptions. I'm not wavering at all on Garoppolo. I don't know if I ever will. I just pray for great health. Mariota's a little bit – I'm definitely not entrenched with Marcus like the Jimmy Garoppolo. Dean Pease, I think Dean Pease, that's a hell of a point, is going to probably get fired. Dean Pease. Let me tell you why Dean Pease, because Dean Pease, I think, is old, right? And John Robinson and Mike Vrabel, especially John Robinson, out of everybody I know in the NFL, he pulls absolutely no punches, right? He is like the General MacArthur of the NFL. He is like a warlord. He does not care. He's almost has more power than Amy Adams Strunk in that organization, right? It's John Robinson. He has more power than the Adams, than the owner does in Tennessee. So I think that John Robinson is going to make a move because John Robinson's so impatient, and that's why I love J-Rob. He checks and balances everything going on in that organization. Ackland, are you a big where'd you grow up in? Freaking Lawrenceville, Georgia or something? Or are you a Clemson fan? But I like Trevor Lawrence too. Sunshine Lawrence. Quiet kid connected to his faith. What a talent, though. Unbelievable, right? I mean, hell of a talent. We'll see if Fields can catch up to him. We'll see if Fields will ever catch up to him. No, I'm never going to – I don't want to do 15-1, Haroon, because we've learned we're going to sit back and sit this one out. For the offseason, we're going to lay back and have that quiet confidence. When you're at the poker table and you have a pretty good hand, but we have to be confident. We were all out, chests out this offseason, the 49ers. We're saying that Sherman's coming here. We're saying that Jimmy Garoppolo now. We got Fred Warner. We got Richard Sherman. We're going for broke this offseason. And you know what? The 49ers, I'm in support of signing Le'Veon Bell. I am. That locker room is too damn good. Le'Veon Bell is perfect for the San Francisco 49ers. You need to get that done because then you have a guy that can catch out of the backfield. And I mean, John Lynch will interview him. I trust John's judgment. Okay. Richard Sherman's been great for this football team. Zero problems at all. Because Richard Sherman's been around. He's played every single role in the NFL. He's really smart, and he's been great for this organization. Okay, McKinnon next year with a lead back, like you either draft Justice Hill out of Oklahoma State or you get freaking Le'Veon Bell. So Tom, do you want Le'Veon Bell? Because sometimes you have to make those risks because – I thought Marcus Peters and Talib to the Rams. I thought those guys were so crazy that they would ruin that team. And sometimes you have to take a risk on guys. Look at Jay Ajayi in Miami, right? Jay Ajayi in Miami didn't get along with Adam Gase at all. And that's why Jay Ajayi was given up for a 4th-round pick because Miami's like, this guy, we can't control this character, right? But he goes to the Eagles and he puts them over the top. So if you're the 49ers – Le'Veon Bell is a really special talent. He adds that change of pace. The offensive line's getting really good. Now, do you draft another tackle so you have McClinchy and Jonah Williams? That would be great because then you have your foundations at both sides. You need a guard in free agency. Like they tried to get Andrew Norwell. Lincoln Tomlinson is okay, but I'm ready to get a very good guard in there because I don't think Richburg is all that good as a center. He's held a lot this year. Okay, he's held a lot. So I want a guard because you look at how good Quentin Nelson's doing for the Colts, right? We all love the Colts. We need interior linemen as well. That's what we need. Nashville, Tennessee. Well, the problem is that, you have, and it sucks, Matt. The most disappointing player out of everything this year, and a guy that I completely got wrong, is Derrick Henry. I thought Derrick Henry would be very good. It's hard to find a power back anymore. If you put Derrick Henry like in the 2000s, he'd be a Jerome Bettis, he'd be a battering ram. But with LaFleur and Derrick Henry, it hasn't worked at all. I thought Derrick Henry would be a beast. I picked him in all my fantasy leagues. I was so high on this kid. I thought LaFleur was going to find a way to use Derrick Henry, and it did not happen at all. And I'm very, very disappointed, very disappointed. Maybe Derrick doesn't have the speed. Maybe Alabama, he was worn out there. It's hard to find a power back anymore, and it's really disappointing. But I don't think Le'Veon's going to Tennessee. I definitely don't see that happening. Boy, that wouldn't happen. Yeah, like a cornerback, like a Greedy. You put Greedy and Richard there. I think Ward is going to leave. So you have a couple of safeties. You're absolutely right. They just need more depth at those positions, unfortunately. But defensive line, I think there's talent. Like, you put money in the Solomon, right? You put your investments there. I would maybe go at Oliver inside, so then you have Buckner and Oliver, and then you're just dominating fools. So I like Ed Oliver, and he's going to be a guy that with Reuben Foster is going to be an absolute beast. And the cool thing about Ed Oliver is if this sweatshirt situation gets out of control, somebody's going to get Ed Oliver like the 20th pick, and you're going to be walking on a freaking cloud getting Ed Oliver. Nick Bosa is like a tactician, so you could have Nick Bosa. Everyone loves Nick Bosa. He must be unbelievable to me. He must be like Myles Garrett, I mean, he's the most – it is because his brother, I think, plays in this NFL. But nobody's talking about this guy being a bust, right? I mean, is he going to be the Markelle Fultz of this draft, Nick Bosa? Where everybody expects the guy to be unbelievable, but yet he is not very good. Is he going to be Darnold, Markelle Fultz? We don't know. Oh, my gosh. And this is Niner draft talk, and I'm here for it right now. Yes, DK Metcalf. And that it's an unbelievable receiver draft. And Metcalf, is he an animal on the outside? I mean, A.J. Brown is unbelievable. He's going in the first round for sure. A.J. Brown's a number one guy. He has the potential to be a top 8 receiver in this league when he steps into the NFL. But Metcalf is a red zone threat. He's Plexico reincarnated. I like it in the second round. Doug, you're so right. What do you have? Darren Lee on your team. Eli Apple was a bust, but then you have guys like Marshawn Lattimore, who's very good. But then you have guys like Devin Smith. So you guys have been plagued. The New York Jets been plagued with having PTSD to Columbus, Ohio, with these draft picks. Isn't Vernon Golston an Ohio State guy? Oh, Doug! I don't think you're getting anywhere near Columbus, Ohio, bro. Oh my God! Don't ever. You could have freaking Barry Sanders at Ohio State. Jets aren't touching him. I'm going to disagree with you, Billy. Now, you have DeAndre Baker, right? He's Miami tough. He's the quietest of quietest kids, right? He's from Athens, and he is a more reliable player. He's an unbelievable tackler. Now, he's very to himself, right? That's the thing. It's not a bad thing. He's just extremely quiet guy. Everybody that knows DeAndre Baker, right, he's as quiet as they come. But he's from Miami. He's tough as heck. He has more physicality than Greedy, right? A lot of people will say Greedy's Mo Claiborne. That's a very good comparison. LSU. But Greedy to me, gosh, I just like cornerbacks that are long like that. I think he's Talib. I still like Greedy Williams. I'm not as enamored with Nick Bosa. I'm just not, because he doesn't have those raw skills that I look for. I like Jeffrey Simmons is a guy that I'm all in on because Jeffrey Simmons, he's had a lot of adversity personally, and he's a guy that on that defensive line, he's a beast of a tackle. I like Sweat and Simmons, and it's hard to really nitpick guys in the NFL draft. I mean, because in college they all do so well, it's hard to nitpick guys really at the collegiate level, right? It really is. It's hard to say that this isn't going to be a good player. But I like Jeffrey Simmons. This defense, I like defensive tackles because defensive tackles win you Super Bowls. Fletcher Cox wins you the Super Bowls, Aaron Donald will win, The best players in the NFL are defensive tackles, and maybe you can have a Khalil Mack, but those are hard to find. A lot of defensive ends are just good for a couple of plays a game. And defensive ends, you can get a Pierre Paul and be fine. You can get Clay Matthews in the offseason. You can find them. But a defensive tackle that's a game wrecker, sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, right? Is he in Green Bay right now? I'll tell you that Jair kid is just a gamer. Alexander is just one of those kids he's just a gamer. He never gets nervous at all. Like that Jair kid mentally he's awesome. He's quick. I like Alexander. And the thing about Denzel Ward too is that Ward is instinctual as hell. That's why he worked. And that's why he was a good Ohio State player, because he had those instincts where Eli Apple was very unsure of himself. And Eli Apple had physical skills, but again, that mental grasping of the NFL and the complexities didn't work. Now, the thing that Howie Roseman taught us is that you can have great safeties. You can have Malcolm. You can have Cam Chancellor. And if you have great safeties, they can oftentimes be really good. Like Malik Hooker's another Ohio State kid that I loved coming out of the draft. I loved Malik Hooker. Anyway, I'm going one more minute, guys. One more minute. It's been, boy, oh boy, is nobody going to watch this replay back. But frankly, who cares, right? We're having a great time on here. And it's a 57-minute job. If this was an 8-minute post game, everybody would be able to tolerate it. But nobody's going to know where to start on watching it back. But that's the fact. It's just facts. Yep. But, Billy, you also have that kid Raekwon. The Alabama team, though, is very, very good. So the Quinnen Williams, I would give pause there because you have a huge kid next to him that the name is escaping me. Alabama's, as a team, is really good. So it's harder to evaluate that prospect because he's going one-on-one, where where other kids are getting double teamed, he's going one-on-one. So Williams has played well at every level. I mean, I don't think he's going to get a lot of insults. He's going to go in the first round probably. It's a little hard to evaluate offensive linemen. When I watch Alabama, I watch the quarterbacks a lot. It's hard to watch linemen. Roquan Smith, Georgia Bulldogs, yes. Eli, Doug, Billy, Haroon. Really fun time. Tom, Matt Moon, Doug, Billy Blade. Oh, what a blast. What a great time, guys. I'm going to leave. Let's leave. And how long should we leave? Should we go to an hour and make it a clean hour? Should we do 3 more minutes, even though I said I'm going to leave? We're out. What a great time. Great football game. You guys were awesome. Thanks so much for stopping in.